I will tell you a thing or two about respect. Because I think in modern society, in modern human, doesn't have any. Modern human doesn't have any understanding of what respect is. And if you deconstruct it, you'll pretty much understand that there is nothing, and I mean that there is absolutely nothing that you can take with you when you die. Think about it this way. This is the only way you can think about it, really. We're all afraid of death, aren't we? Me too, not gonna lie. I guess this is not the most pleasant process. Not the most pleasant one for sure. And this is where it gets, interesting because we have the same end, both you and me, both billionaires, trillionaires, and homeless people, and and if it exists, of course, like the middle class or something like that. Everyone has the same end of life, and if you think about it even more, then in death we become truly free. And I don't believe that it all ends there. Probably, rather, I am a believer that it just starts there because given the let's say the interesting experiences that I've had in the past, I pretty much understand that I've had this experience when there was this feeling of oneness, should I say, that there is actually no differences between us. No matter your confessions, no matter which God you believe in, no matter like which God you pray to, no matter your skin color, your race, no matter the heritage and so on and so forth. It's just those, you know, little shiny things which we and I specifically call decorations that people put upon themselves and think that they are better than other people, that they are somewhat of like more like higher beings than others, and that they some of them are distinguishing us, all of us, by speaking of themselves as the elite, when in reality they are just people of flesh and bone and blood, the same kind of blood that I have, same kind of blood that you have. It doesn't matter. But they want to keep you divided and they want to keep you distracted, that's for sure. When you understand their games, they see another legion of demons. And these demons not only try to distract you, they actually try to interfere with your life. They actually try to block you, like it was in my case for so many years when I wasn't able to speak my mind. Because I was always distracted, always, sort of like blinded. And aggressively, should I say, This is where it gets interesting because, like, every one of them dies someday, including us, including me, including you. There's nowhere to run from it, and there's nothing you will be able to hide from it. This is what I believe, what they call when a person meets, or like a soul meets a god. And a god, not the Christian God, not the Islamic God, not the Buddha, not any other deity or force or higher power. This is a journey inwards, all of it. This is a journey inwards, man. And this journey, you'll discover all those gods, all those beings, all those deities inside of you, basically, because this is the journey of perception. This is the journey of perception only. And how can you not have self-respect for you, for yourself, for the fact that you have been through so much? That you've dealt with narcissistic parents, that you've dealt with abuse from your drunk father who was an ex-military man who beat you up when you were just a small kid. How can you trust other men when you grow up, right? Naturally, you think every man is a threat in the world. And not just like that, You try to become like Not the only like the best version of yourself that they call it, but you just try to become that strong and that, you know, that everybody fears you. And you intimidate everybody just, out of that fear for your own father when you were just a little kid and you couldn't, fight back. And now your father's gone and you cannot talk to him. And he was taken from this world by the ancestors to show that what the fuck have you done to your son? What the actual hell have you done to your son? Why did you try to ruin his life so much? And this runs in an ancestral line, probably for you, because his father was an abusive piece of shit towards him. So your grandfather was an abuser towards your father, and your father was an abuser towards you. So this is a cycle, and the cycle breaks. For example, with you, this cycle breaks because you're able to see this cycle. So it's like lifetimes. Some things in this world are lifetimes, generations in the making. But even given that fact, still, only death gives me this unsettling yet so comforting feeling that only in death we become truly free and we can truly rest. You cannot rest in the light because the light burns. A moth that flies towards the sun dies because of the light. And you come to the darkness for knowledge, just as, I believe this phrase was said somewhere in Diablo 4 intro or somewhere around that. If you know, you know. And if you've played, you've played. So people tend to think that darkness is bad, that shadow side is bad, the demons are bad, Well, most of them are probably, but it's that perception which is actually bad, which is actually a lunacy that I think of it. Like I think of it as such. You cannot always suppress yourself because it's gonna break out. You cannot always suppress your anger. You cannot undergo the anger management like it's gonna be useless for you. This psychology is gonna be useless for you as well. You understand that this runs deeper. This is ancestral rage. This is inexplainable. This energy can only be brought up from your goddamn belly, your goddamn stomach, which is something that we call root chakra, root and sacral chakra. These are the two main centers. Not these ones, but those ones. While we are still here on Earth, because we're still here on Earth, we're still like physically manifested as these bodies. So stop running from it. Just stop. Love and light is amazing, but you have to dive deeper. You have to dig deeper. You have to always dig deeper. Remember, your journey is just a journey inwards. No matter what anybody tries to say, no matter what anybody tries to prove you, that there is something outside that is of so great importance. No, it's not. Any physical object is just that, a piece of matter. It's your perception that gives it qualities. Come on, I mean, like, show a stack of money to a Neanderthal. I mean, like to a primitive human being, sorta, like to primitive men who lived like to primitive humans who lived like many thousands of years ago. Show them like or in like hundreds of thousands of years ago. Show them that stack of money. Man, I think they're just gonna wipe their asses with it because it doesn't have value for them. We create like the value is artificial. Any value is artificial, and this is why, like this is exactly why the current systems will fail and fall, because you cannot speed up forever. You cannot do a speed run forever, man. You will get so burnt out that you'll be praying for God to send you some sign, of some higher power. And doing more is not always good. Working more, overworking your ass every single day and every single night, it's not working in 100% of the cases. It is not. It is true that they say work smart, not hard. This is the only truth out there. This is why we have AI, which has arrived in this form. And we gotta know how to use it. We gotta learn. We gotta experiment just as always. And this is a good thing. This is a good thing. There's nothing bad about it. But all of this stuff, and yet the end result is still death. It is still death. So it doesn't matter what you do. Really. It doesn't. So, we can judge Epstein, we can think of Illuminati as bad guys. Yeah, probably they do some weird stuff, you know. Of course. But everybody's too busy with their own lives. And this is not going to change. I'm just telling you, this is never going to change. No matter how many investigations you have, no matter how many results you bring up, nothing's going to change. Nothing's going to change. Because the the manifestation of any hierarchy or an order, be it the current world order or the new world order, that started being mentioned, I don't know, somewhere in the 80s, I believe. It doesn't matter how you call it. It always results in a hierarchical structure which is represented as a pyramid. And that's it. It's impossible. It's unavoidable. It's like Thanos in the Avengers, man. This fairy tale has no happy ending, but it doesn't have a bad ending as well. It's just as it is. This realm, this system is just the way it is. It's just the way it is. And you don't have to burn yourself out. Maybe, if you're feeling like that, maybe it's time for a role change. You cannot be doing the same shit forever and expect different results, man. That's the definition of insanity. Once again, as another great game character said. I mean, the Vas Montenegro from Far Cry 3. Once again, if you played, you played. So, till death does us apart, I guess. Because, man, no, it doesn't matter whether you are like a God's chosen or Goyim. I don't know. It doesn't matter. You still have the same blood. You still have the same bone structure. You still have, the same skin, more or less. I just don't understand why, people get so enthralled into these concepts, and they just can avoid fighting each other because it gives them some sort of meaning. Well, you know what? You tried looking inwards and discovering that inner world within you, which is the actual reflection of the outside world. And it is manifested in the very same moment as you speak it. And see the distinction, the difference. I urge you to see the difference between these two ways. So we have the start, let's say, the starting point of your life, you being born, and the end point of your life, you're gonna be gone. What matters is in between, and what you feel and what you learn is in between. Because when you're gone, you're gonna go somewhere else. The manifestation cannot stop. The manifestation cannot stop. It never does. It never will. Our own observable universe is a goddamn manifestation of the consciousness which infinitely wants only one thing: to experience itself. And that's it. And that's it. And all these past lives and future lives and timelines, 4D, 5D, 3D, man, all these systems, all these planets, all these aliens, all these cults, all these Illuminatis, all these organizations, it doesn't matter. This is just a way and form of consciousness to experience itself, to then reflect upon itself and say whether this was good or whether that was good. Or was it? So it doesn't matter what's out there. It only matters what is here. This is the only thing that ever mattered. And people are fighting wars because they are of different nationalities. And the devil, the devil's demons, sorta, like those two midget presidents, they're just that, They just understood how to control the narrative. They shake hands behind the scenes while shouting at each other on camera. And this will always be the case. So it's not our job to change anybody. Everybody's got the same end in the end of the day. And you can pretty much manifest whatever the hell you want in this life or in any other. So there's like basically really there's two ways. There's only two ways between the start and the end of this life. One way is the way of destruction, which leads to more destruction, which leads to more division, which leads to wars, which leads to conflicts, which leads to fights. And it does exist in the world. Like both, everything exists at the same time. And yet then there is this second way. This is the way of journey inwards. Because the inward journey is reflected outwards. What you discover in yourself, you will see outside of yourself. This would be sound like a waste of time. This would sound like a waste of time. Because why should I do that? Because I'm still gonna die. I think I just want to try, more fancy cuisines. I want to have sex, for example, with each and every with a woman of each and every nationality. Which I don't blame you for. If you choose this experience, come on, go ahead, do that thing. Or the ones that are called elite sorta, they were also generations in the making. You don't know their background, Why do you think Rothschilds are so powerful? Because they are several generations in the making. Several generations in the making. This is a powerful root system. This is a powerful family structure. And this is important. To an unaware person, all these peeps the golden youth sorta, and all these billionaires seem like, people get angry towards them. Most of them do. And I was just like you, I'm not gonna lie. I was just like you. I was just like you once. Up until I understood what that really is. That their wealth is not random. Their wealth is not random. This is, this is a grand ass tree. Sort of like family tree. This is generations in the making, and keeping that sort of, energy intact. And passing that from one generation to another, to another, to another. So these people who are now in charge in the world, they understand what it means. They understand that this is more just than one lifetime. This is so much more than just one lifetime. They understand the laws of the universe, man. They do. They possess the real ancestral power because they didn't fuck it up. They didn't throw that, in the trash. They also understand that this generational sort of perception and passing the torch. Older generation understands that they will go, and they accept that. But what I'm seeing in the world right now, it's almost like, people live only in the moment. And this is something that has its own consequences. If you're gonna live only in the moment, you won't have a life. Even though feeling the total presence sometimes is okay, it's cool. It's like you rest. This is a spiritual rest. And I'm gonna be doing these sessions for you, just in the future vids. I want to do this. I want you to feel it. I want you to feel this inner sight as well. I want you to be able to control yourself, because it took me lots of years, if not decades, to control my own emotions, even though I'm a pretty impulsive guy right now as well. It just depends on the context. If I feel that something's wrong, my body will never lie to me. My body, my intuition, my inner feeling. And feeling is the secret. And people like Neville Goddard or Alan Watts, they've said that. They've said that so many times before us. So in this sense, we're some kind of like reincarnations of those people, of those grandmasters. This has been said all over and over again. The only journey, the only real journey that you can go through is a journey inwards, which is reflected outwards. But you not but there is no need for you to search the outside world. The only need the only thing you got to do is look inwards. You will find your birth there, you will find your life there, you will find your leaving point there. I mean the death. Because a couple of days ago I was in this super anxious state, and I wanted, I just started shouting, if there are aliens, and I believe there are, and they exist. So I mean, my star family, guys, I am requesting immediate evacuation from this planet because this is all going to shit. Nobody's listening to anybody anymore. Everybody's living in the moment. And it causes wars, it causes destruction, it only causes collapse. And people think that the new world order is gonna be bad. No, it's gonna be just the same as the current one. This is something that they don't understand. So my star family, once again, really now on video, so that the whole world in the YouTube can see, I am requesting immediate evacuation from planet Earth. I've seen enough. I don't want to deal with this bullshit anymore. Oh man. I've been following my inner guidance. And this is probably what you should do too. And I don't even know why I'm looking up when I ask my alien family sort of to get me the hell out of here. I have to be looking in, not up. Okay. So the point of this vid is you gotta have respect. You gotta have respect for yourself. And you will instantly see who doesn't have respect for you. There's not gonna be a lot of people who understand what I'm saying. And what, probably understand what you're feeling. But respect is important. My interviews with some potential employers actually highlight what I'm speaking about, because I noticed a tendency that whenever you are speaking of the things that you used to do, they are sort of previous job experience, or just experience, let's call it that way. It doesn't happen always, but sometimes it does. And the interviewer or interviewers, they tend to undervalue you, but they don't do it straight up to your face. But some of them do, because they cannot, put their masks for too long. And you can see through all that BS. So what they do, they basically start, laughing it off and saying that, well, this is just nothing, This is just nothing. This is just nothing. This is just nothing for him. Okay. And this is why I believe these interviews are some sort of humiliation ritual. Where they want to trigger you, Yeah, just like that. But the main thing that each and every one of these people keeps forgetting is that someday, some long time ago, they were in the same seat. And probably they were too mocked. They were mocked and humiliated too, This is an endless cycle, once again, which has to be broken. And in order to break it, you gotta declare to the goddamn universe that my name is Alexander, and I refuse to be disrespected, and I refuse to be undervalued, and I refuse to be overlooked, because I'm sick of people's fucking game, and I'm sick of people's fucking bullshit. So this is what you gotta do. This is what you gotta do. So when anybody tries to undermine you, in the future, you just point the goddamn middle finger and tell them to F off. This is the best, if anybody asks me for this advice, for life advice, of course I'm not giving you this advice, you can't succumb to them, you can play by the rules, that's your choice. I'm not telling you what to do. But I was in so many situations in my life, where when I just had to, the best option for me would be just to show the middle finger, tell the person to get the F away from me. But I didn't, because I wanted to please somebody, because I always wanted to please somebody. I'm sick of pleasing. I'm sick of pleasing. There is no pleasing you're gonna get from me from this day on. I choose myself, and I think that each and every one of you should choose you as well. My audience are the people who choose themselves and follow their inner side and follow their inner guidance. So we all know that how it's gonna end. So why are we afraid? What are we afraid of? What are we afraid of? If we know how life ends. Life ends with death. And there is nothing, not a single dollar, not a single cent, not a single coin, not a single crypto coin, not a single piece of gold or any other precious metal, not a single piece of anything else valuable which you consider to be valuable in this goddamn 3D manifested reality. There is none of it that you can take it with you. And Egyptian pharaohs are like, the best representation of that. They were buried in the pyramids or under the pyramids or whatever the hell. They had their own private chambers where they were laid to rest. They were mummified, and they've had like tremendous amount of treasuries, like treasures, brought to their sort of, let's say, to their crypts, to their chambers. But they still passed, and none of it mattered. None of it mattered when they did. So please, we're giving this life too much meaning, I guess. But respect is something of great importance. When we respect each other, we don't fight. We start talking, we start cooperating. I think this is the best choice for all of us. I hope someday, maybe long after I'm gone, I don't know, maybe this world will come to some conclusion, to some understanding. But man, I wish, I was born in a different generation. I wish I was born in a different timeline where there was no war. But it looks like there's these psychopaths around the world. They only trigger these conflicts. Man, I hate that. When I'm looking inwards, I don't have any inner conflict, as I say it. I only have inner alignment. And so are you, because you're watching this video right now. We are aligned right now in this very same second. There's nothing bad and nothing good about it. It just is. We feel the energy. We feel it in the same way. And there is no war inside of me. And that is why there is no war outside of me. There is no war outside of you, because there's no war inside of you. As easy as it sounds. I wish more people understood that. That we are all gonna go someday. So why are we fighting? What's the purpose of fighting? There is absolutely no purpose in any of these conflicts, in anything like that. Yeah, sorry if it took too long, but I just had to speak it out. And I hope it resonates. And I hope it does resonate with, for many peeps. Because I'm so sick of fighting. I'm so sick of this war. I've ended mine a long time ago. It's time for you to end yours. And take your life into your own hands. Finally, do that one little thing which is infinitely complex yet infinitely simple. One decision which changes everything forever. For you and the future generations. Nothing to be afraid of. You already did it. Time to stop to contradict, just stop contradicting yourself. And that's it. I wish you have a good day, good evening, good night, or good morning. I don't know which part of the world you are located right now. But yeah, I wish you all the best. I wish you all the best. There is nothing good which ever came out of the war. So love life, Love yourselves, love your close ones. Alex out. Bye bye.